My name is Benedict too. So thanks so much for joining me here on the AM show. We have to talk some sports, and we are coming from a weekend where we had the African Cup qualifiers for the 2018 World Cup. Ghana, unfortunately, we're not going to be at the World Cup after reaching the last three World Cups: 2006, 2010, and also 2014. We are in Group E with Egypt, Uganda, and Congo. And after yesterday, the qualification came to an end. Ghana finished in a disappointing position on the log. That's the Group E. We finished third. Egypt first, then Uganda second, and Ghana third. Well, we wrapped up the qualification at the Cape Coast Stadium. Well, our last game against already qualified Egypt, and that game ended 1-1. And Egypt actually scored first, and it took Edwin Jesse's fine strike to equalize for the Black Stars.
And the draw will be taking place at the State Kremlin Palace in Moscow on the 1st of December. And that will be interesting to find out who will be pitted against who. Well, this is good play from Shikabala. Gets the ball out to Trezeguet. Trezeguet to Shikabala again. Can he get a shot in? It's a great shot and a fantastic goal. Finally, we've got one. And it comes from the Saudi Arabian-based midfielder, Shikabala. The 31-year-old Trezeguet unselfishly picks out either El Neni or this man here, Shikabala. And that was a good finish. And Afori very well beaten there. Well, Morocco and Tunisia, the two teams that qualified on Saturday night for next year's World Cup. Let's get back to the action because Yazi unleashes a shot. It's a goal for Ghana, and it took a deflection, and it's 1-1. In the space of 2 minutes, we've had two goals. Finally, this game is coming to life, and Edwin Gyasi of Elesund, born in the Netherlands, scores the equaliser in the 63rd minute, sorry. A little bit of lady luck on his side, but the perfect way to respond to that goal by Shikabala. So we'll look at this again. It's teasing the defence. I'm just trying to see who it came off. Yeah, it was the central defender, I think. Was it Said Samir? Daniel Amati. Oh, that's a beautiful shot, and the ball has gone in. Oh, it's nearly in. And how on earth did it go over the crossbar? That should have been in the back of the net. And that's the full-time whistle. And we finish with Ghana 1, Egypt 1.
So 1-1 ended at the Cape Coast Stadium. The Black Stars won, Pharaohs of Egypt won. Egypt already qualified. So we'll check Group E, the standings for you, and also we'll look at some statistics involving Ghana and Egypt, the number of times they've met on the continent, whether it was a World Cup qualifier or it was an Africa Cup of Nations tournament. That will be on the screen pretty shortly. So we'll check the statistics. So there you go. The statistics for the game before we look at that of the group standing. 64% as against 36%. So Ghana played all, and was a yellow card for both teams, and also 10 fouls committed apiece, as well as one offside for Ghana and also 2 for Egypt. And corners was 4 for Egypt, and Ghana only had 2. In terms of shots, we had 21 with 8 on target, and also Egypt had 5 with 4 on target. So the group standings will be on the screen pretty shortly. Then you have an idea of how it all went down in the 2018 World Cup qualifier. That's the group that Ghana, we found ourselves. We're in the same group with Egypt as well as Congo and Uganda. So there you go, Egypt finishing top in that group with 13 points. And by virtue of that, they've qualified to play at the 2018 World Cup finals in Russia. And also Uganda, they came second with 9 points. Ghana could only finish third with 7 points. And Congo finished in that group bottom with just 2 points. So Ghana lost a game, drew 4 games and also won a game. So we lost 1 game, we drew 4 and also won a game. So one of the new players that actually had the opportunity to play in this game was Godfrey Donsah, who plays his club football for Bologna in the Italian Serie A. Well, he was thrilled with what happened at the Cape Coast Stadium, but was not so enthused about his performance.
No, professionally we entered a game to win. We entered a game to win because it was good for us to win in order to boost our morale in the team as well, because I think the coaches are preparing the team for any national assignment that will come alongside the road. So I think we went with the mentality of a win, but unfortunately we couldn't win the game. So I think we did our best, and we think it's not sufficient because we needed a win. But I think as long as the national team exists, they'll recruit players as they have been doing, and we think that we can do something in the near future.
So that was Godfrey Donsah, who plays his club football for Bologna in the Italian Serie A. So Coach Kwesi Appiah gave the likes of Donsah, Edwin Jesse, who scored that stunner, as well as Nana Ampoma, the opportunity to play in yesterday's game. Well, Kwesi Appiah, when he came in, we had already played 2 games in the qualifiers. That was against Uganda and also Egypt, and we had drawn against Uganda in Tamale and went to Alexandria and lost 2-0 to Egypt. So when he came, he started with the Congo game at the Barbarian Stadium, which we drew goalless, and went away to defeat Congo by 5-0, and also we went away, drew with Uganda, and yesterday we drew 1-1 with Egypt at the Cape Coast Stadium. Well, Kwesi Appiah, going into this game, noted that he was going in to try the new players, which he did, and he says he's very committed to rebuilding the team for the upcoming Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers, and hopefully go to Cameroon in 2019 and win that tournament.
Yeah, I believe that, as I said earlier, the essence of my coming is to build the national team. And building the national team, with a record of, I've not even noticed it, but I think you did. Yeah, so in a rebuilding exercise, automatically, you will not have things your way throughout. You might lose some, you must draw some. But the bottom line is, have we been able to get some good players out of the exercise? That's the most important thing that I'm looking at. By next year I should have a core of the team, to depend on for the Cup of Nations in 2019.
So that was Black Stars coach Kwesi Appiah. We'll hear more from him here in our subsequent sports bulletins, but we still have to stay with the qualifiers on the continent. So in our group, you already know that Egypt qualified, the other groups as well. We're going to go through, so the African representatives at next year's World Cup. Well, Senegal went away to Polokwane in South Africa to play against the Bafana. Remember, that game was played some 3 months ago, but had to be replayed after an order from FIFA when referee Joseph Lamte was found to have been involved in match manipulation. So that game was replayed in South Africa, and Senegal went away and won that game by 2-0.
Out wide with Manny on that far side, up against Daniels, the movement, the ball! The opening goal is a stunner! A thing of beauty and brilliance! Passing and movement at its very, very, very best for Senegal. 1-0 it is. What a ball! What movements! Then the composure for the Western man in putting it away. It's a lovely goal, a thing of beauty to watch, but it's Senegal with an all-important first goal. And it's taken them just over 10 minutes to get it here. It's Sacco to get it. Now, Black stays down. Man has worked hard. Man has worked extremely hard to get into possession and force the own goal and force the 2-goal cushion. It's the distance he covered, how quickly he did so, how badly he wanted it. Sadio Mane.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievably unlucky. Terribly unlucky. Both had worked so hard defensively. Mane had matched that and possibly beaten them offensively. He started his run on the halfway line here. They are comforting each other rather than pointing fingers here, understanding how the ball just rolled for Senegal and against South Africa in that case. That's all there was to it. That will wait and have waited since 2002 to see South Africa qualify for a FIFA World Cup without being host. That wait continues. And the fans of a nation that had an unforgettable World Cup back in 2002, they are led by a man from that generation and are back.
So Senegal defeated South Africa by 2-0 to also book qualification to the 2018 finals. And Morocco, what an amazing story they are telling all of us here on the continent. And one man who has ensured that Morocco are going to be at the tournament is heavy renowned after winning the Africa Cup of Nations with 2 different countries. First was with Zambia in 2012 and also with Abidjan, that's Ivory Coast, with Ivory Coast. At the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations, which they played that final with Ghana. Well, he has also qualified Morocco for the tournament. They went away and defeated his former team, that's Ivory Coast 2-0 in Abidjan.
For Morocco, their task on Saturday night was straightforward. They just needed to avoid defeats in the Côte d'Ivoire and their ticket to Russia would be booked. A star-studded Elephants side needed maximum points to advance and they made a positive start in Abidjan. Max Cradel sent in a beautiful ball to skipper Jovinho, who failed to convert. But against the run of play, things took a dark turn for the hosts. Nabil Dira dispatched a teasing delivery that passed everyone, including Sylvain Goubourg, between the posts. 5 minutes later and things went from bad to worse for Côte d'Ivoire.
Oh, and it's 2-0 Morocco! Ivory Coast just left it, and Mehdi Benatia has doubled the money for Morocco. Ivory Coast need a miracle now. They need 3. Morocco are heading to Russia as things stand.
The Ivorian defence was at 6s and 7s at the start of the second half. They would have been 3 down had Serge Aurier not been protecting the goals. Morocco came close to conceding the first goal of their qualifiers when the ball found an unmarked Aurier at the top of the box. Nevertheless, the Spurs fullback blazed his effort over the crossbar. They haven't been to a World Cup since 1998, but following their 2-0 win, Morocco's return was confirmed. The class of 2017 pulled it off. Hervé Renard will now lead them to Russia for their 5th showing. So it's Morocco who sealed their place in the 2018 World Cup, pipping Côte d'Ivoire, who miss out on the World Cup for the first time since 2002.
So Morocco also through to the 2018 finals in Russia. It looks like it's going to be a tournament for the North Africans because few of them have booked qualification to the tournament. So first was Egypt, then Morocco, and now Tunisia. They also played a goalless draw with Libya, but they had already qualified to the tournament.
Just needing a draw to secure passage to the 2018 FIFA World Cup in Russia, Tunisia hosted Libya in a qualifier on Saturday, with the Libyans well out of the running for a place at the global showpiece. It took the hosts just 4 minutes to carve out their first real chance of the game, Yassine Meret forcing Libya's Mohamed Nashnouch into a save. The Tunisians were the more industrious side in the first stanza, but the acrobatic efforts of Anis Badri lacked the venom to beat the Libyan shot stopper. Despite enjoying the lion's share of possession and Gilani Chalani's best effort, Nashnouch was not going to be beaten, keeping the hosts out time and again. But the draw was all the Tunisians needed to secure their 2018 FIFA World Cup spot in Russia. 14 points on top of Group A. Tunisia are through to the World Cup 2018 in Russia. Congo is second, a point behind them, while Libya and Guinea follow in 3rd and 4th.
So Tunisia also through to the World Cup final. So the 5 representatives for Africa at next year's tournament. First it was Nigeria that qualified. Then Egypt became the second team. Then over the weekend, we had the likes of Tunisia also making it to the tournament. So it is inked at for Africa. Nigeria, Egypt, Tunisia, and also Senegal are all going to be at the tournament with Morocco as well. So 5 teams that are going to represent Africa, 3 from North Africa, and also we'll have Nigeria and Senegal also joining them. So that's it. No Ghana, no Ivory Coast, no Togo, no South Africa at next year's World Cup, which will be hosted in Russia. We'll have to do more on the continent, and also we'll look at the qualifiers as well in Europe, because you know, the playoffs are still on, and we'll have the second leg of the Italy-Sweden game, which Sweden won the first leg by a goal to 0 away. So Italy would have to win convincingly. That's against Sweden to book a place at next year's World Cup. Watch out that one tomorrow, and definitely will bring you the highlights and the updates from that game. We'll talk about the BBC African Footballer of the Year. The nominees are out. It came over the weekend. But before we do that, Spain already qualified for the World Cup. Were engaged in an international friendly with Costa Rica, and Spain won that game by 5 goals to 0.
With the World Cup fast approaching, 2010 victors Spain continued their preparations ahead of the showpiece when they welcomed Costa Rica to Malaga on Saturday night. La Roja led inside 6 minutes. Fullback Jordi Alba made his way upfield and blasted the hosts ahead early on with a sweet first-time finish. David Silva and Isco were calling the shots in the middle of the park. It was all very easy for the two. They worked the ball into the box, and Alvaro Morata eventually got it over the line. Manchester City's midfield dynamo Silva continued to flex in the second period. He was in a league of his own, making it 3 and then 4, all in the space of 4 minutes. Costa Rica had no response. It was becoming a rout as Andres Iniesta got involved in the action. The veteran proved that he could still find the back of the net in style as he made it 5 with a long ranger. 5 goals from a 5-star Spain.
So Spain won that international friendly against Costa Rica by 5 goals to 0 in Malaga. We have to do other stories away from the World Cup qualifiers and also international friendlies. You remember very well last week we told you the story of how Chelsea parted company with their technical director Eminalo. Well, there are reports that Frank Lampard, Chelsea legend, is tipped to become the next technical director of the club.
After 13 years at Chelsea, Frank Lampard retired in February as the club's leading goal scorer. Since then, he's been doing his coaching badges and has admitted he's itching to return to the game. But he was coy when asked if he'd been approached by Chelsea about replacing former technical director Michael Emenalo.
Yeah, I haven't heard, so it's not, I think rumours which are normal in England, we have a lot of that. But I think the first thing to say is I worked with Michael for 7 or 8 years myself, and I think his role at the club over the 10 years he was at Chelsea coincided with probably the most successful period of Chelsea's history. So I think he deserves a lot of credit from that, and I think everybody at Chelsea wishes him well as he moves on.
Antonio Conte has recently faced questions over his long-term future at the club, but a morale-boosting victory over Manchester United has silenced his critics for now. But could and would the Italian work alongside a club legend?
He doesn't really want Michael Emenalo's successor to be a guy with managerial aspirations. You know, we've seen it many times before with technical directors and sporting directors who want to be coaches, and Lampard has made no secret of that, particularly Chelsea coach. Now, obviously, I'm not suggesting that he would ever do anything if he got the job to undermine Conte, because I don't think he would, but it's just, I think, a slightly uncomfortable dynamic.
So a dream job managing Chelsea in the future for Frank Lampard, but he's staying tight-lipped over the technical director's role. He says 20 years as a player doesn't make you a great manager, but over the years, he's learned from the best.
The manager who probably changed my career was Jose Mourinho. I had fantastic managers. I had a fantastic time with Carlo Ancelotti. I was pretty more established at that point, but Jose Mourinho was the manager that came into my life and took me to another level.
Okay, so that was Chelsea legend Frank Lampard there. Now, let's quickly look at the nominees for the BBC African Footballer of the Year, the 2017 edition, and the nominees were revealed over the weekend. No Ghanaian in the shortlist include Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang who is from Gabon and plays club football for Borussia Dortmund. Also, Naby Keita plays club football for Leipzig in the German Bundesliga, but he's been signed by Liverpool and will join them in summer next year. He's also in the shortlist. He's from Mali. And Sadio Mane, what an impressive, performance has been from him this year. He plays club for football for Liverpool, and he's from Senegal, and he led Senegal to the 2018 World Cup qualification. And also Victor Moses is with Chelsea from Nigeria. Mohamed Salah, the man who, for me, single-handedly qualified Egypt to the World Cup. He's also made it into the shortlist. So it's simple. If you want to vote, just make your way to the BBC website, and you can vote for the next BBC African Footballer of the Year. The shortlist again: Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Naby Keita, Sadio Mane, Victor Moses, and Mohamed Salah of Egypt, and plays club football for Liverpool. That's how we end sports this morning. I'm Benedict Ose. Thanks so much for your company. Get to the My Joy Online Sports page and read more sports stories for yourself. Nathaniel Lato will be here at 2 with our major sports bulletin. That's Sports Today. Have a wonderful day.